Once upon a time, when I was living in Los Angeles, I was at the doctor's office for a regular appointment, but the timing was lucky because a week prior, a mark had appeared on my lip and it hadn't gone away. And when strange marks appear on your body and they linger, sometimes it causes concern. So I asked my doctor about the mark. As she leaned in for a closer look, she said, "It looks like a burst blood vessel. Did you bite your lip?" The minute she asked me this question, I immediately flashed back to a moment a week prior when I was in a club in downtown Los Angeles making out with a random guy. Now, before you get the wrong idea, making out with random men was not normal behavior for me. In fact, getting to a place where I was kissing at all took a lot of work, a ton of courage, and the help of a friend. Said friend was my friend Patty, who was at the club with me that night, along with a few other girlfriends. Patty had declared herself my kissing coach. And that night in the club, I was there to get more kissing experience. However, I lacked a vision for how to make kisses happen. I didn't really know what to do. Do you talk about it first? Do you just kiss them and hope they don't freak out? As I'm dancing with one person after the other and not really making anything happen, I dance closer to where Patty is dancing with her partner, and over the boom of the club music, shout my dilemma in her ear. She shouts back, "You just have to do it!" 2 dance partners later, I still hadn't made a move. Now, this night in the club was not the night of my first kiss. That happened several weeks earlier on a date with another random person. At the time, I was 33 years old and I had never kissed anyone. And I had decided that I was done ignoring this part of my humanity. And the next time that I was on a date with someone who was moderately attractive, I was not leaving that date until I kissed them. So there I was in a bar in Los Angeles with this date. This bar, I had been on 2 other dates the same week, and the bartenders were the same bartenders all 3 nights. I started to think I probably needed to find a new date place. But for the night when I was going to get my first kiss, I needed all of the comfort of familiarity that I could get. I wasn't paying attention to anything that my date was saying. I was just spiraling inside of my head trying to figure out how to make this happen. Do you have a conversation? Is there an agreement? Do you sign a contract? I don't really know how to do this. This is a very normal human experience, so they don't offer classes on it. When he walked me back to my car, he put his arm around me, and I was like, that's probably a good sign. When we were at my car, he seemed to be lingering. And the words of the great date Dr. Hitch came back to me, and I knew lingering was a good thing. I also knew from the movie Hitch that you're supposed to jingle your keys to signal that you want to kiss someone. So I gave my keys a really good jingle. And then I kissed him. In the moment, I was way too caught up with thoughts of, oh my God, I did it, 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 to even think about the kisses that it was happening. We kissed again in the car, and I was able to be a little more coherent because the initial elation had passed. And I noticed that the kiss was wetter than I would have expected. But my date gets all of the credit for that. Because the night before this date, I had Googled YouTube videos and articles on the mechanics of kissing. And I know that I controlled my end of the saliva fest. Date over. As I was driving home, I was ecstatic. My delight stemmed less from the kiss itself and more from the fact that I had set a goal for myself and I had succeeded. Fast forward several weeks in the future to the club, where I am again having the same dilemma of how to make the kiss happen. The barrier was less about fear and more for just lacking a vision about what to do. Patty said, you just have to do it. But I still was stuck. I started to get a little bit discouraged as I kept dancing with different people, as nothing happened, and started to think that date with that one random person, that kiss with that person, that date that I ghosted afterwards, was that it? Was that the end of my kissing experience? As I'm starting to spiral in my discouragement, I lock eyes with Patty across the dance floor. It was like a movie. The crowd seemed to part, and smoke seemed to swirl around her as she made her way towards me. She leaned up and whispered something in my dance partner's ear. I don't know what she said to him, but the minute she pulled away, he was careening towards my face and pressing his lips to mine like someone who had been waiting for permission the whole time. After that one kiss, that was all it took. It was like word spread throughout the reverberations of techno music that girl over there in the gray dress was open for kissing. They all started coming to me, one after the other. It was like my own personal kissing booth. Okay, we're done. Next. All right, time's up. Next. Okay, we're done. Next. I was really good at the mechanics of kissing. I was able to determine the angle and the pace. And as each kiss was happening, I was assessing, like, how do I feel about this? Like, do I like it when this one guy grabs my ass? Do I like it when one guy sucks on my bottom lip? I did not like it when one guy put his whole mouth over the top of mine. And I definitely liked being in control. After many suck-face partners, I took a break to go get a drink at the bar. As I'm downing the contents of my glass, my friend Candace comes to join me. When she arrives, I turn to her and blurt out, Candace, I think I'm a lesbian. That did nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. Now, I hadn't set out on this exploration journey expecting to be aroused, but I had expected some kind of a spark. Candace consoled me by telling me that her first kiss with her then fiance was really bad. It was so bad that he thought she was gonna break up with him. We determined together that for some people to enjoy kissing, sometimes you need an emotional connection. Worn out from my make-out adventures, I went and took a seat on the edge of the dance floor. One of my previous partners came and sat down next to me. He put his arm around me, placed his hand on the side of my face, and started to draw my lips towards his. I stopped him with a hand on his chest. I am done kissing for the night. As he went off to lick his wounds and console himself in the arms and the lips of another woman, I determined that this was my journey, and for the time being, this part of it was at an end. Except for the doctor's office, where that strange mark had appeared on my lower lip. The doctor asked me if I bit my lip. I said no, but I may remember one of the guys that I'd kissed maybe nipped it a little bit. She then asked me if I'd kissed anyone. Turns out that mark on my lip was a hickey. My first ever hickey. I could not have picked a better badge to honor this monumental occasion. The end.